Hello. I think this is working. Awesome. Alright. So, I'm gonna try to invite my buddy. And let's see how it works. Because I don't like talking about myself, but I will if I have to. Because I have a lot of things to talk about. Because I'm very insightful. And when I say that, I mean it in the most non-arrogant way. Like, I just try to keep up on my news feed and see what's going down the world, and with everything from space, who's going there, who's already there, the fourth stimulus that I know a lot of people are waiting for, EDD. I'll crack on the EDD all day long. I think we all know that that's the EDD, the DMV, all these places that deserve to be cracked on because they're like worse than crack spots. At least crack spots, like people get crack and they leave. EDD, freaking DMV, you're sitting there for hours trying to get something that you could have got in 20 minutes if they had competent employees. I'm sorry. Shout out to all the employees there. I'm not saying you guys are incompetent. I didn't even mean to sound like I was categorizing a whole group of people, but there are those few in the many that just make it really difficult. Like, I'm going to try to make a long story short, but I probably won't be able to. I went to the DMV to get my driver's license again because I had it, but I left it on the little counter where you get changed to the laundromat, and of course somebody stole it and I took off with it, and so I haven't seen it again, so I have to go get my driver's license again. So I went, and there wasn't a lot of people there. I was like in the first wave of the first 30-40 people there, but I get my ticket with my number, I get sent to the counter, boom, I go to the counter, I'm like, I'm already at the counter? What's up? Like, I'm gonna be in and out this thing. So I gotta fill out your application, boom, 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 I fill out my application. Lady's like, okay, go wait for your number to be called. I'm like, my number to be called? Wait, isn't that where I'm at? Okay, I'm gonna sit down, start looking at the numbers up there, and I'm like, oh, they're way past me. But then I see the numbers that are way before me, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. So I'm waiting there, I go out for a smoke. I don't even smoke, I vape. So I went out, and I was like puffing the clouds, boom, blowing the clouds. I go back in, the numbers are still going up, they're going way up, and now they're going faster. I'm like, okay, something's wrong here, something's definitely wrong. So I go back in the line, talk to the old lady at the thing, little old lady, very nice, very, very helpful. She's like, okay, you gotta go to this counter, because your number was passed. I was like, wait, my number was passed? I was getting numbers passed mine when I first, okay, let me go. I'm not gonna make a scene or anything. But I'm not that type of person, I will try anything to avoid a scene. Anything. I mean, I went really far to not be that guy. So I'm at the counter, I put my name down, and I see there's other people that are waiting with their names and their numbers that have been passed, and I'm like, okay, so I go back, I sit down, I'm like, wait, if there's other people with numbers that have been passed, is it a possibility that my number, or not my number, but those numbers that were before mine were other people that got passed, and so I've been passed since the beginning? Is that a possibility? So I go back up there, and I'm like, I'm just wondering, because I've been here for 2.5 hours now, and they're like, oh, you're next, and I'm like, I'm next? Why would you say that? Like, I see 4 people before me without signatures next to their names, meaning that they're next. And so I went back to the old lady, because she just had an aura around her. Like, I was like, this lady is trying to help people. I go, can you give me a new number? Because these people are really, I don't know what I feel like I'm in a Doctor Strange time loop. Like, I'm just going, Dormammu, and I'm getting killed over and over, and it's really pissing me off. She's like, oh my god, yeah, let me get you that. Here, I'll give you a new number right now. Boom. All of a sudden, 215, 216. Lady calls me up to the counter where you put your number when you got passed, and she's like, are you okay? I'm like, oh, now that you ask, you guys have a flawed system going on here. Like, you're making people, well, it's just the two of us that are doing the numbers over. And I'm like, well, why are you even doing it? Just have them go get a new number. I'm already like 3 away from being called. The guy goes, you're next. I'm like, shut the hell up. No, I didn't say that. I'm going to be 100% honest. I said, you know what? Just forget that number. Go ahead and cross it out. I have a new number. And I would never say shut the hell up. Okay, that's what I was thinking, okay? I was like, shut your mouth. No, I was like, don't worry about that number. You can cross it out now because I got a new number. And I'm like, I could see I'm minutes away from being called. And I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to down you guys. I understand it's only you two. But why would you even have people put their name on that list when they can just go get a new number and get called like right away? I'm sorry, sir. Oh no, you don't. See, you're taking it the wrong. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna go sit down. Don't worry, I'm about to be called. Keep doing what you're doing. EDD, EDMV, all you guys, because obviously that's a can of worms. The EDD that I don't even gotta say anything. It seems like every time I go on my news feed, I'm seeing like horror stories of the EDD. I was actually put in a situation where I had to call the EDD, or I thought I had to, and my heart sank. I passed out for a little while. All I remember is opening my eyes. My girlfriend was like, wake up, John, are you okay? I'm like, oh my god, I have to call the EDD. She's like, oh my god, why would you do that? I'm like, I'm not going to. Obviously, people are paying money for other people to like spam the EDD just so they can get through. Talk about a flawed system. But where I was telling Angel the other day, I'm trying to get Angel on this podcast, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to, bring him in here and us both have our audio go on while he's at his house, I'm at my house, but we'll see if it works. It looks like he hasn't even seen the request I sent him on WhatsApp, so obviously he's still walking back from Target. And don't worry, he don't care about me busting him out. He's a walker. He loves walking. Matter of fact, the other day, he looked like he needed a walker. But we'll get back into that. I'm going to go back to my ED horror stories. I don't have that many horror stories, but what I feel bad for is the people that are, like, living out their cars because of all these, misdeeds that the EDD has done. When I say misdeeds, I'm specifically talking about not redoing their computer network. I'm talking from program to hardware all the way up. Like, they should have had that done. This has been a problem. This is not something new. The pandemic just came in and mollywopped them. Now they're like winded on the sideline, like waiting to catch their breath and get back in the game. They're way back. They got knocked out, man. And I will be cussing on this podcast, but for those of you who haven't listened to me before, I'm going to make this one a PG. I'm going to keep the cuss words to a minimum, if not gone at all. But the next one, they will be present, so forewarning, and if you think that this would be a better podcast without that, let me know. If the majority, I can freaking edit myself. I do it every time my mom walks in the room. Or every time I think she's in the room, all of a sudden, like when anybody's talking to me, they're like, what happened? What just happened? How'd you do that? Oh, I've become a pro at that. People are like, why? Why would you become a pro at that? Well, the kind of house I was raised in, like, I would reach back while driving and just like bullseye your bottom or top lip with a flick. Boom! If you ever got flicked on the lip, where the knuckle goes boom, it hits your lip, and then the other side is your tooth. That shit hurts. That hurts. That hurts. And so you start to learn how to just like do auto editing, on the spot live editing. And that's what I'm going to do for this one, but, next one just be forewarned. Anyways, I do have a fan on too, because it's hot as hell. It's hot as hell. It's hot as hell. I'm in California. There's a drought going on. And it's summer. So, not as bad as 2 years ago. I was visiting my cousin in Laughlin right before their peak time summer hit, and that was ugly. And it hadn't even peaked out yet. My cousin was like, "You packed for some warm days, right, Johnny?" I was like, "Yeah, I got my shorts, I got my shirt." He's like, "Okay, yeah, just be ready, because last year it did hit 127 degrees," and I was like, "Say that? What'd you say? You said 127? 127. He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh my god." And I left. I actually was going to stay for like 2-3 months, but I was like, nah, I don't care if you guys are right on the river. I don't care, or the, whatever goes through their body of water. I don't care. I don't care if it's freezing cold at night. For somehow it goes from like 127 to like 60, 50 below zero. It seems like it's freezing cold, desert, chilling. And I'm like, I don't care. 127, I'm not built for that. I will melt away. I will melt like an ice cube. So here we go. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna type this guy and be like, "Angel baby." What the hell, where's my wingman, dude? My boy! I'm live, dude. I'm live, and I'm live, and you're freaking, and you're walking home. You're walking home. I hope I don't offend too many people here, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm typing him right now, and I go, "You're walking home like that dude from Battleship, with the mechanical legs, like straight up." The mechanical legs. What's good, bro? And you haven't even seen the last message, so I don't know what you're doing. How far are we into this? Not bad. Okay, we got about a minute and a half left, so obviously Angel's gonna be guest starring. He's supposed to be my wingman. He's gonna be doing these. We just gotta get a schedule down. But I believe that he's gonna get his act together and switch out those mechanical legs for some real legs and get home every day to make these podcasts. And I swear to God, it will not be this dry. I will have some. Usually, I told him, I'm like, you better have a list of stuff to talk about, because if I start hearing you moaning and droning on, I'm be like, mute. Okay, anyways, let's talk about Han coming back to the Fast and the Furious franchise. Let's talk about how people like that. I'll tell you what, I didn't like it, because what happened to all those kids that were looking up to him? Mr. Nobody, quote unquote, disappeared him. The Yakuza were after him, and he goes and ghosts on them. Don't get me wrong, I love Han's character. I was so happy to see him back, but when Mr. Nobody, they started explaining it, my heart dropped. I was like, come on, how are you gonna do Han like that? Like, he wouldn't do them like that. And you're telling me if the white boy didn't, challenge the son of the Yakuza guy to a race, Han's just gonna ghost on him like that? That's what I'm saying. Yakuza don't play. Mr. Nobody and Han obviously didn't have it all worked out, but we're at the end of my 15 minutes. I don't want to drone on. You guys are probably already where you need to be, so see you next time.